Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Asim. I'm working as DevOps engineer. Guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how we can use the Docker agents in Jenkins, and we are going to see how to use the dynamic slaves using Jenkins. So let's begin. What I've done, guys, I've created a repository for you guys. By doing these examples, we are able to learn and see how these things work. So I'm going to show you the simplest example. For instance, simply you need to have a GitHub account or Docker sign in. Is everything? Everything is free. What you need to do, navigate to the play with Docker, right? And simply create a new instance. I've already done that. This is the way you can do that. And this is the free lab. So we are going to use um this labs by deploying Jenkins. So what I'm going to do, if you see my Docker, let me show you that. I have this sandbox container running. This might be Python. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to exec into this guy, right? So I'm going to take a shell into that particular lab, and I'm going to then paste the command to spin up Jenkins. So what I'm going to do docker exec interactive shell into that Jenkins, sorry, into that sandbox, type that and do exec. So you have to make sure that you have SSH keys available right here. So what I need to do, simply paste this particular command, and I'm going to take a shell into that particular machine, right? So I'm in that particular machine as doing the SSH. So simply you need to navigate to this guy and simply copy this command and paste it. So let me do that. So what we are doing, guys, here, we are going to spin up Jenkins in Docker, right? And by doing this, we will be able to spin up Jenkins on a free Play with Docker lab. So you don't have to use your own machine. Everything is available for learning as well and build your concepts, right? So then what we will be doing, we will be using the Docker agents by installing the plugin. So let's spin up the Jenkins. So Jenkins has been spin up. So if I do Docker logs Jenkins, right, you will see this prompt here. Let me do the copy. And if I navigate to this lab and click on open port and press 8080 here, I should be able to see Jenkins shortly. And this is the lab, guys, and we are going to do the testing. This is how you can do the quick testing of DevOps of or any sample application to build your concepts. So this is the quickest way. I mean, without using your own machine, or if you want a public service, so you can use this particular lab to learn the stuff, right? So we have to wait for a while. If I do Docker PS, let me do that. If I do Docker PS here, you will see our Jenkins has been spun up. So it will take a little while. We need to wait. You see, after 1 minute, it has been spun up. So I need to paste the credential which I've copied, and I'm going to click continue. I don't want to save it. I'm going to install the suggested plugin. So if you navigate back to the section, so for this, we have a prerequisites. Docker plugin need to be installed, and Docker pipeline plugin is required, right? And this is what we will be doing shortly once the Jenkins is available and ready. So this is how simple it is. Till then, what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply navigate back to this section, and I'm going to spin up one more Jenkins, right? So I'm going to copy this command, right? And this is my Ubuntu 20 LTS Jenkins, and I'm going to use this Jenkins. Although Jenkins is not installed here, I've set up the Docker here with the Docker script, right? One thing you noticed, if I scroll it down in this repo, I mentioned do not use 1222 LTS for Docker because it has some bugs regarding the Docker. So that's why I'm using 1220 LTS. You can use Amazon Linux or any Debian distros, but make sure you should not use 1222 LTS. Some of the stuff you will see is causing error in this 1222 LTS, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to paste this command. We are going to use the host network, and I'm going to show you why. So simply press it. Regarding the stuff I mentioned here in my repo, um, we can use a different machine to spin up a Docker dynamic containers, or we can use the same machine as well. So I've just spin up the machine, this one. You can either use this machine or you can use the same machine as well. So let me show you. If I navigate to the security group, we are using the default security group. Everything is allowed here, right? So one thing regarding the security group, I need to update. So if I navigate back to the security group and click this guy, I'm going to, as this is the demo, I'm going to allow all traffic to my IP address, right? So click this guy. I'm going to say allow all to my IP, right? So save it. And once the Jenkins is spin up, we are going to simply use that, right? So on this particular machine, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a shell, navigate uh, to this machine. I've already configured the SSM. So we're not going to do SSH, simply click this guy. And if I navigate to Docker, I'm going to simply do type here Docker script here, right? Simply paste it, click this guy, and simply copy this guy till here. We're going to perform the installation of Docker, press sudo -i, paste it. If I do ls here, this file has been downloaded. Simply type this guy. The little version of Docker and Docker Compose is going to be available here. So let's do that. Um, Wait for a while, and shortly you will see that even if I click this guy and open this here and put 8080 here, you will see one version of Jenkins is also available. So this one we have spin up on private Docker Lab, and the other one we are going to use Ubuntu 20 LTS, right? I'm going to give password, right? That's the password. Mohammed Asim info@cloudgeeks.ca. Save it, right? And press escape, save and finish. So let's do that. And we are going to simply using simply use start Jenkins here. Because if you see in this private Docker lab, we are going to play with Docker agents. And in this other section, what we are going to do, we are going to use Docker agents, sorry, dynamic agents, Jenkins. So Docker logs Jenkins. But regarding the dynamic agents, we need to do little tiny configurations, which I've already mentioned. I'm going to show you shortly. But let's install Jenkins here with the same process we are going to do. So let it install, right? So this private Docker, our Jenkins is ready. What we are going to do, navigate to the manage Jenkins section, right? And then we are going to click manage plugins. And we are going to simply type here Docker, right? Sorry, click available and then type Docker. So we need this plugin and this plugin. Download now and install after restart. Click this guy, right? And click this guy. So Jenkins is going to be restarted, and similarly, we are going to configure other Jenkins where we want to use our dynamic agents, right? So let's do that. Okay, save and continue. Let's escape, save and continue. Start using Jenkins. So similar stuff we are going to use here regarding the plugins. Navigate to the manage Jenkins. Here, guys doing stuff in parallel way. So um, you need to be aware of why we are doing that. So if you um, okay, navigate to the manage Jenkins, right? Available plugins, simply type Docker, and similarly we need this plugin and click this guy and Docker pipeline download, and after restart, so click this guy, restart Jenkins. Now our Jenkins on here is back. Let me fix the typo. This is the play with Docker. We are going to simply create one pipeline, and we are going to discuss uh, our first Jenkins file, right? So let's do that. As we are not going to look for the Docker file, but we are simply looking this pipeline where agent is going to be Docker, and let's say I want to use Node 16 Alpine. This is just an example, and we want to build our application. You might not be using Docker in your project, but this is the easiest way you can engage Docker in your pipeline. So you can easily do the building with containers. For instance, if you navigate to my um, YouTube channel, I previously created a video regarding how to build in the environment with Docker without, polluting your system. So this is the continuation of that particular video, right? So, okay, now what we are going to do, let's escape here. We are going to click new item and simply let's type Docker here, click the pipeline, and okay, that's fine. Click this guy, and we are going to discard old builds and do not allow concurrent builds. Scroll it down, and instead of using the pipeline script here, we are going to use our public repo. Click this guy, right, and from here select git, and it is going to ask for the git URL. So if you navigate to this public repo, so if you click this section, navigate to this section, copy this guy and paste it here, right? So and in that particular repo, if you see the branch is main, we need to update this, and we want to use this Jenkins file one, right? So let's do that. And if I do type here main, and Jenkins file is gonna be Jenkins file one. So let's try to apply, save, and let's try to build now, see what's happened. In case of any error, we need to definitely fix it, but let's see how things goes. And I'm going to show you the error as well, if those are any. So you need to be aware of what those errors are. You see, we have a failure. You need to check those error. You see, socket permissions error. So for a quick fix, what you can do, if you navigate to this section here, for instance, this is our play with Docker. So if I do chmod here, right? And if I give the permission to var run docker sock, right? So I updated the permission, right? And if I do ls hyphen l on this var run docker sock, further you can create a service which is going to update the permission automatically. For instance, if you reboot your machine, those permissions are going to be change. So I've created a script. I'm going to add that particular script as well. So what it does, it is going to create one service to always run to update the socket permission, right? So let's try to simply rerun this particular pipeline and see if that particular error has gone or not. So restart from the stage. Uh, okay, sorry. Click this guy. Let's build now as well. So it's going to be our second attempt regarding this. So let's try to see what's happened here. So we have updated the permission. What it does, you see, the permission issue has gone. Now it is able to pull the Docker, Node 16 Alpine, and it has asked, it has done what we have asked to do. Node version is going to be this, and this time we have a success. So this is our first test regarding the Docker Jenkins agent, and let's try to navigate to configure again. And if I navigate back to this section here, we have tested Jenkins file number one. Now, if I navigate to the section Jenkins file number two, here what we're doing, we are going to say the agent is going to be none, right? And stage is going to be backend. Agent is going to be Docker, and steps, these are the ones. But if you see, we are using the multi-container here, right? So simply to learn and test, simply navigate to this section, and you need to update the area regarding the Jenkins file, right? So simply press 2, apply, save, and build now. So we will be using third example here, and let's try to open this guy and simply open it in a console. So you see the pipeline has spin up. So what it has done, it is unable to find the Maven image. So that is why it's saying error, but it is now able to pull the error from the Docker Hub public registry. It is going to pull that. And if I navigate to this section, you will see, if I do Docker images, you will see the stuff. For instance, previously we have node and it is now pulling. And if I do Docker images shortly, you will see one of the image ones, it has been pulled. Now we have an error, right? And we need to check that poll is complete, error processing fail exists status 1. So the error is regarding this node. There is no space left on this particular machine. Sometime you will get this, but you will certainly have this understanding how things work. So what we are going to do, guys, we are going to continue our understanding on this particular machine. So I'm going to close this guy, right? So you need to make sure you should have in your mind that by using display with Docker, you might face these sort of errors, but definitely we have spin up our Jenkins on other machine as well, right? So even you can use your local machine. So let's begin. So everything is pretty much the same what we have done on already have done in this particular machine. We have installed the Docker and Docker plugin, and we are going to now um, continue our examples. So let me type this Docker here. Simply click this pipeline, right? Click OK, and we are going to continue from here regarding our example, which we were looking. Simply discard old builds, do not allow concurrent builds. Navigate to this section, pipeline script, click this guy git, and we need to again paste the URL of that particular repo. So simply copy this guy, paste it here, and now we need to update this branch, and the branch name is main. And also we need to update our Jenkins file, what we were looking this Jenkins file to, right? And let's try to apply, save, and build. So, but definitely you will see the error regarding the Docker socket permission. So if I do Docker PS I need to update this guy, so I'm going to do chmod 666 bar run, right? And Docker sock, sorry, Docker sock. So permission has been updated. I'm going to do build now. And regarding that particular script, let me add that script, which is regarding the creation of service. For instance, if your Ubuntu machine has been rebooted, the permission are going to be removed. So for that, you need to create a service. And by running that particular script, it will create a service and create uh, uh, the service which is going to automatically update the permission on Docker socket, right? So let me paste it here. So guys, what I've done, I've updated the repo further. If you want to see how to set up Jenkins and do the backup in 5 minutes, you can see my video with regard to that. I will add the link of this particular video as well. So if I navigate back to the section, if you see the temporary solution, what we have done is this. We are doing the chmodding to var and Docker sock. But if you want to make it permanent, simply what you need to do, copy this guy and paste on this shell. So what it does, it is going to create a service, and simply let's try to test this and test this particular script and paste it here. So in fact, sorry, create a script and let's say I'm going to call this script, let's say permissions dot sh, right? So let's do that and paste it inside. So let's do that. If I do ls here, we have one file here, and if I do permissions here, so also I'm going to remove this Docker sock shell which has been created because we have some errors as well. I'm going to also remove the file and get Docker. So we have clean things here, and now I'm going to do bash uvx to get the verbose output here, and let's see. Okay, so we have issue here regarding this Jenkins. I need to fix this guy. Let me do that, and I'm going to update this script. So guys, what I've done, I've updated the script. Extra name was actually added. So if I navigate back to this particular shell, and if we open our permission.shell, so simply what I need to do, simply remove this guy and simply save it and rerun it, and what we will be shortlisting the permission with regard to the Jenkins. So if I do here, Docker socket is created, get the contents of Docker sock. See, this is what we are actually calling in our service system CTL, status of Docker service. I mean, Docker press tab here, and you will see and Docker socket service. So if you reboot, what it does, it is going to automatically update the permission of that particular socket. So this is something you should be aware of regarding the permission. So anyway, now we were actually here, and let me navigate to this section. And for this number one, we need to test the pipeline. You see, we have pulled the Maven and we have pulled the other image, and you see Maven versions, right? Everything is successfully tested by using the multiple version of Node. So now what we're going to do, we are going to navigate to the third example, right? Okay, guys, so navigate to the third example, click this guy, and I'm going to open the third example. See, now here what we are doing, we are going to say Docker file true. Okay, let's try this initially. Then now let's try to run this and see what's happened. So navigate to this section, configure, and click this third example, save, apply, and build now. So navigate to the console, right? Click this guy. Okay, so whatever has been mentioned in our Docker file is going to be applied here. So you see everything has been done and it has finished in success. But for that, we need to test our Docker file. So if I navigate back to this section, Docker file true, click this guy. You see, this is what we are doing inside our Docker file. So navigate to the section Jenkins file 4. Here, what we are doing, we are going to take two containers, right? And one thing I need to show you, the artifacts of from one container is going to be available into second container. So, for instance, we are building um, our application for from Node, and we want to, or any application, we want to move the artifacts to might be S3 or whatever I want to do. Um but after completion of this, stage, the artifacts are going to be available in next containers. You see, if I get out the content of this file which I've created here, so let's try to do the example. So click uh, this guy, click configure, and if I click um, here, and I'm going to see example number 4, click this guy build now, right? And let's see what happened. And we are going to take a shell or console output here, right? So you will see this is the image or container is going to spin up for us, and we are going to create one file here, echo awesome. Here you see everything is available, and we are creating one file, and we are doing the get out the contents of that particular file. So here now we are in the node container. If I do ls here, you see that hello.txt is available in this particular node alpine, right? And if I do the get out the content of this as awesome, here you see the artifact from previous container has been successfully transferred to the other container, and you can do a lot of stuff with that as well. So if I navigate to this section here, okay, just refresh it. And if I do Docker images, you should be aware what's happened here. You see, it has downloaded those particular images, right? And do the stuff regarding the building. So now, if I do sudo -i, so navigate to the example number 5, right? And example number 5 is regarding the Docker slave. So for that, we need to do some of the configuration. For instance, we are going to set up Docker slave, and we are going to do dynamic provisioning of our containers. So for that, what you need to do, navigate to this section area, area, and simply see what's happened. So what you need to do in step 1, copy this command, and we are going to open this in Vim. So on this particular container, on this particular machine, we have two machines. This is the Jenkins ones, right? And um, this is a blank machine with no Jenkins. If I do Docker PS, right? Currently, you see no Docker involved. So I'm going to paste this particular command, right? And I'm going to simply comment this guy here, exec. Press I, command this guy, escape, right, escape it, and press O. We are now in the new line, and simply what we are going to do, simply we are going to copy this command, and we are going to open this port on this particular machine on or in this particular node. So this is the new node, and if I do escape, press colon X, is going to save this guy, right? And then um, what we are going to do, we are going to copy these commands, right? So let's just scroll this guy here, and I'm going to paste all these commands here. So we are going to do system daemon reload, system ctl restart docker, And then in the last, we are going to do the status of Docker. It should be running. And we will be then doing the test with the curl command. Definitely, this is the just sample command. I need to update the IP address of, private IP address of that particular machine. So let me do that. And first I'll see the Docker is running. It is up and running. So if I paste the same command, definitely it's gonna throw an error because it's gonna unable to find this particular IP, because definitely you need to update your node IP, and we are going to use private IP, and it should be dot 2942 already mentioned here, you see on the left side, and this one I'm talking about. So try to do the curl here, you see everything seems to be okay. Now, if I navigate to this section, click Jenkins, manage Jenkins, right, and manage, navigate back and manage nodes and clouds, and navigate to the configure cloud section, and click this guy, click Docker, and we are going to add the host. Simply you need to do type TCP, right, and // and simply um, type this IP address. Okay, do 172.31.31.86. So if I navigate to, okay, click this guy and simply copy this guy, paste it here, and simply remove the slashes, remove the HTTP section, and let's try to test the connectivity. And if it is not connected, we need to see why we are unable to connect. So we need to um, see the connectivity, and we need to update the stuff in the security group. So let me do that, and I will be back shortly. So guys, if you see, this is my Jenkins machine, and this is my machine where there is no Jenkins, and previously we have run this command successfully. So we have wrongly entered this command in Jenkins. So from this machine where our Jenkins is running, we need to access this machine. We are using the default security group. So we are allowing all traffic internally from our security group or inside within our security group. So it should be accessible, and we are able to access it. So we need to check in the Jenkins what we have actually entered. You see, I've entered by mistake the wrong IP address. It should be 2942, and let's try to update this guy, right? 2942 here. Let's try to test connection here, and you see we have successfully able to test it. And let's try to apply, save, and okay, this seems to be okay. Navigate back to this section, manage nodes, and we are going to add agents, and um, let's try to add a template, and I'm going to label exactly the same what I mentioned here. So if I navigate back to the section, right, in this repo, navigate back, and click this guy, and I'm going to use this label. I'm going to call this Docker slave, right? And what it does, it is going to create a dynamic images from the image. So one thing I need to show you guys, and also I've mentioned in the prerequisites of this. Let me open this. So we need to have prerequisite of this. Let me show you that. So regarding the prerequisite, regarding the dynamic Docker slave, that it must have Java install and Docker image CMD, either should be empty or simply that, and it is going to be available also mentioned here. So for that we need to set up the Maven. Let's say example Maven latest, and prerequisites are actually available, which actually have copied from here, exactly copied from here. So you can do that, and Let's try to save and apply and see everything if goes well. So um, navigate to the section dynamic and create new item. Let's say dynamic Docker slaves, call this guy, right? And click the pipeline, click this guy, and discard out bills, do not confront bills, and um, click this SCM, click Git, and here I just want to separate things here. That's why I'm creating a separate pipeline to make sure you can see the difference between the Docker agent and slaves. So I'm going to update this to main and Jenkins files. Gonna name is gonna be this time is going to be -5, right? So let's try to do that. Apply, save, and build now. So let's see what happened. So our pipeline has started, right? And click the console output. So let's see. Still waiting to schedule tasks. Jenkins don't have label Docker slave. We need to look into that. And if I navigate to this section here, right, click this guy, and you see uh, some of the stuff happening here. And if you click this section, okay, we need to look for, okay, it has been successfully done, and um, our pipeline has successful. You see, initially it says we don't have any slave, and then what it does, it is actually has spin up that particular container, right? And okay, commit message Docker socket permissions. So hello world, right? Commit message and hello world. This is what we have actually mentioned here, and you see, it has been successfully done. So, okay, one thing, actually, yeah, we don't have need to do anything update regarding the software permission. So currently, if I do, you see, if I do Docker PS over here, we don't have anything up and running. So what if I do Docker images? You see, it has downloaded this particular image. That's why we are able to see successful pipeline and do what it asks to do. So this is called dynamic slaves on that particular machine, what it needs to do, and it has downloaded did that particular image and um, done the particular stuff, and it has then removed the container. Similar stuff we have already seen with the Docker agents. It has downloaded that particular image, done the job, and removed those particular containers. So if you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe the channel. And have a nice day. Thank you.